In this video, we're going to talk about relations and functions. You'll see at the top the definition of a relationship is a set of ordered pairs that relates x and y. The set of x values in the ordered pair is called the domain of the function, or the relation, and the set of y values is called the range. So the set of x values is called the domain. The set of y values is called the range. And you can remember that because X comes before Y in the alphabet and D comes before R. Another definition is every relation can either be a function or not a function. So to know when a relation defines a function, we say that Y is a function of X if for each value of X in the domain, there is exactly one value of Y in the range. So just to make sense out of that definition, let's look at some examples below. So if we look at example 1, we're trying to determine if this relation here is actually a function. So we look at the x values. When x is 2, in this first ordered pair, y is 3. But in the second ordered pair, we have a second value for y when x is 2. So this is not a function. And I'm going to abbreviate function FCN. When we look at number 2, well, let's see. 1 corresponds to 3. And there's only one x value where it's 1. And the only value that corresponds to 1 is 3. The only value that corresponds to 2 is 3. And the only value that corresponds to 3 is 5. So this is a function. So you may have noticed that to be a function, it is okay for the y values to repeat, but it is not okay for x's to repeat when you're looking at a set of ordered pairs. So you may want to write that. Note, to be a function, it's okay for y values to repeat. And still be a function. And then it is not okay for for x values to repeat. So if x values repeat, it is not a function. So let's look at number 3. Number 3 has actually exactly one x that corresponds to exactly one y. And so in this case, this is a function. And it's actually a function that is 1-to-1, which means there is a 1-to-1 correspondence from the domain to the range and for the range to the domain. But we'll get back to 1-to-1 functions later on in the semester. Number 4, let's see. Well, -1 just corresponds to 1. 0 just corresponds to 0. But if I look at the last 2 rows, we have 1 corresponding to 5. And we have 1 corresponding to 6. So the x's are repeating here. So this is not a function.